welcome again for a very interesting session today. Uh, so we're going to talk about the most interesting subject which every organization has, and a crucial part of it as well. Coming from the service industry, let me introduce myself. My name is Jayteerth Kulkarni. Um I manage the systems and solutions business for Emerson. So, being a service provider, it is very crucial how agile your workforce is and how your workforce is trained. Are they ready for the next challenges in this ever changing environment? So, today's subject touches upon various facets of that. And along with me, my co chair, Madam is from EIL. Uh, we both will be taking you through this journey for the next 1 hour, and I hope you find it interesting, and I'm sure you will have questions as well. So, the future proofing, which we are going to talk about today, it allows your organization to stay ahead of market trends and challenge and changing customer perspectives and needs, as I talked about. We have been through this India Energy Week, and we're talking about sustainability, decarbonization, etc. So, there are a lot of things which are changing at the drop of the hat every day, and then it's crucial how we gear ourselves up. So, without much ado, I'll be inviting our speakers for today, starting with Mr. Naveen Parashar. Learning and development is crucial for organizations to be agile. With more than 3 decades of experience in diverse industries, from Chambal Fertilizers to EIL, and also being nominated as Professional of the Year in 2015, I'm pleased to invite Mr. Parashar to speak on learning and unlearning. When you learn something, you also unlearn. Learning and unlearning for competitive advantage. Mr. Parashar will cover drivers, socio-economic attitudes, learning and development investments, its impact on business transformation. So, Mr. Parashar, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for giving this opportunity on presenting my views on the most important topic of today. So, I want to put some pretext before I start the presentation. One of the biggest challenge globally for skill is rapid pace of technology advancement, and this has resulted in disruptions in the job market. As new technology emerges and become more advanced, traditional jobs are being replaced by automation, AI, and other forms of technology. All this is creating a growing skill gaps as the skill required for these new jobs are often different from those which are needed in past. As a result, individuals and organizations are struggling to keep the pace of change and adoption of new technology and the way of working. The World Economic Forum has identified the need of upskilling and reskilling as one of the key challenges facing the global workforce. This requires individuals and organizations to learn and update their skills to stay relevant and rapidly evolving job market. So some of the key drivers which are identified by World Economic Forum future job report is that technology adoption will remain a key driver for the business transformation in next 5 years. The largest job creation and destruction effect come from the economic this environment, technology, and economic agenda. Within a technology adoption, big data, cloud computing, AI feature highly on the likelihood of the adoption. The impact of most technologies on the job is expected to be the net positive over the next few years. Organizations are confident in developing their existing workforce. So it is the technology which is making a difference, and we have to adopt the technology for enhancing the skill of the workforce. And if you see the most advancing jobs and most declining job, there is a difference only with respect to the sustainability. And if you see the uh, most of the advanced jobs having a component of sustainability in it. So based on the World Economic Forum job future reports, 6 out of 10 workers will require training before 2026-27, and what is there, only 50% of the workforce are having adequate training opportunity as on today. The highest priorities for skill training from 2023 to 27 is analytical thinking, creative thinking, and the big AI and big data. These are three important skills which are identified by World Economic Forum for the next 5 years. And if you see the top 10 skill requirements are mainly the analytical thinking, creative thinking. Then these are the cognitive skills, and then there is a self-efficacy like resilience and flexibility, motivation and self-awareness, curiosity and lifelong learning. Then there are technical skills. There are other four skills which are mainly the dependability and attention to details, empathy and active listening, leadership and social influence, and quality control. So these are the top 10 skill which is recognized for 2023. Then there is one more important findings of the job report, that around 44% of the core skills is expected to change in next 5 years, and this trend is almost for last few years it is similar, except during the COVID, where it is predicted is around 57%. 57%, yeah. 57% it was there. And you have seen the adoption of technology during the COVID phase. There is a rapid uh, enhancement of accepting the technology, even by the people who are not uh, accepting this technology earlier. We have seen even the non-skilled workforces are adopting the technologies for payment transfers, etc. Some social emotional attitudes which is focused and which are identified in the World Economic Forum report is this lifelong learning, resilience, motivation, agility, self-awareness, and flexibility. So these are very essential part of today's workforce requirement for creating a culture of learning within the organization and for self also. How organizations are planning to invest in this learning within the organization? Around 40% they feel that they will be uh, investing in the leadership and social influence, around 32% for resilience, and around 30% is for curiosity and lifelong learning. Two-thirds of the companies are expected to see these returns within a year of investment on these skill trainings. And around 34% this surveyed population feel that the effective resilience, reskilling and upskilling is a key practice that can be increase the availability of talent within the organization, and it is considered as one of the best investment instead of hiring new workers within the organization. This is some of the trends which is being identified and which is being also seen in the organization. Around 26% of the trainings are on the on job, and similarly around 23-24% is on the which is training interventions which are done through uh, various in-house training programs and all that. And if you see the most of the training intervention or skilling funding is within the from within the organizations. These are some of the trends which is seen with respect to the total, which involve the government also for taking the creation of skilled workforces. And in this case, 45% of the businesses see funding of self training as a effective intervention which is available to them for enhancing the skill level of their workforces. And especially with respect to energy transition and climatic change mitigations, we have seen that 33% especially is expected to grow with respect to sustainability, and around 34 with respect to the environment protection expertise. And if you see there is a universal trend of increasing the growth of renewable energy experts, solar energy experts, and system engineers, and it is expected to create a job around 1 million jobs. This is a trend which shows there is an increase in the green job hiring rates over the years, and it has surpassed the overall hiring rate over the years. And in last I think 3 years, it has shown it over last 4 years. It has shown it has surpassed the overall hiring rate index. And these are some of the barriers in transformation. Basically, if you see, there is a skill gap in the local labor market, inability to attract the talents, outdated, inflexible regular frameworks, skill gap among the organization leadership, and storage of investment cap. If you see the 6 top points, uh, 3 points are related to the skill requirements. Strategies, what should be a strategy for transformation of the workforce? And if you see the investment in learning and training of the jobs, transition of existing staff from decline of growing roles, outsourcing insignificant areas, and most important is the investment in the learning and training of the jobs. So this is the top priority at this point in time, and it is giving the good results also to the organizations. So there is a shifting of skill landscape over the years we have seen, and mainly because of the energy transition, because of the job transition which is happening across the world. So these are some of the uh, points which is highlighted. There is an urgency for individuals and organizations to adopt and become to adopt the requirement of new skills to take care of the glaring event which is happening, especially in the job market. So we have to now think about what are the skills. Normally we used to tell there are hard skills and soft skills, but we have to think of a model, new model, which has to be uh, for the future of the industry. So we have to have some questions regarding are our skills are durable or more perishables? Are skills transferable across the jobs, job families or industries? Are skills in demand, and will they be stay in future? So these are some of the important questions which we have to answer before designing any model. There are two frameworks which exist with respect to skill. There is we used to hear about hard skill and soft skills, but based on the uh, now there because of the change in the landscape, the half life of the skills is gradually reducing. So it is better to classify the skill based on the half-life of the skills which is there in the market. There are perishable skills which has half-life which is less than 2.5 years, semi-durable skills with a half-life of less than 7.5 years, and durable skills are those skills where the half-life is more than 7 years. So what are these skills? Basically, perishable skills, semi-durable skills, and durable skills. So perishable skills are normally those which are based on the some uh, vendor specified trainings or vendor specific product trainings. There are certain organization policies, tools which are highly perishable. They are frequently going to change based on the changing scenario or based on the changing in the leadership. A specialized process, an individual team put in place. Normally, sometime uh, certain project leaders put some particular framework, but it is not sustainable. So these are all perishable skills. There are certain durable, semi-durable skills. Those are skills like which have certain specified period, like certain softwares are there, which are normally being have life of 4 years or 5 years. So those are considered under the semi-durable skills. And durable skills are mainly those skills which are tangible, which can be uh, taught also, and so then in that they mainly these are the design skills, project management skills, and these skills are measurable also. There are certain models which are frequently being taught in the MBA courses like T skills and E skills. T skills is being quite famous earlier. It's a model given by Tim Brown, where the horizontal bar is the expertise which normally employee get during the process of his service in the organization. And and the vertical line is for the deep expertise in one particular activity, like electrical person has a deep expertise. And the E model, which is there, it has experience, expertise, exploration, and executions. So these two models are more prevalent and being taught in the MBA educations also. But now there is one model based on that skill level, uh, duration of skill, what I have explained earlier also. The perishable skills are those skills, it's like a leaf of a tree. Perishable skill coming and going like leaves with changing seasons. Semi-durable framework forming the branches, and durable skills like a root of the tree. So we have to develop a model like this. We have to concentrate more on the durable skills so that they remain, and perishable skills which are there, we have to keep on revisiting and reskilling, and these are also the aspect which we should unlearn during the course of our uh, what should be the approach for the organic model for skill development? We have to adopt the T model and offer a fresh perspective of the skill development. Encourage developing skill within durability, with durability, transferability, and release for future roles in mind. Durable skill first approach should be followed. Advocate a shift to durable skill first perspective training. Empower talent for dynamic and long-term contribution to the organization. Then we have to follow the layered training for comprehensive skill. Follow a layered training approach starting with the durable skill. Acknowledge the importance of agile delivery, but emphasize diverse durable skills based on specific roles. So these are some of the way forwards. It's a future-focused training initiatives, lifelong learning strategies, then strategic collaboration with the workforce enhancement, strategic practice learning initiatives, technology enhancement, personalized training learning. I'm just finishing. Then building resilience through skill development, through well-being strategy, cultivating inclusivity in the crew, then strategic market alignment, and embracing the flexible work models. So these are some of the way forward which organization should adopt based on the model which I suggested, especially a tree model where perishable skills are like a leaf, semi-durable skills are like branches, and the durable skill is like roots of the tree. We have to grow the tree. And in the last, I want to say that knowledge is the key driver for competitive advantage in today's fast-paced and ever-evolving business environment. Organizations that effectively capture, share, and leverage knowledge are better equipped to innovate, make informed decisions, and stay ahead of the curve. Thank you. This is all about my presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. And any questions we'll take at the last. Yeah, there's a lot of things which came to the mind. 44% of the population skills are going to change. So agility is very important, and adjustment, accommodation, adaptability, and toleration are the basic features of Indian culture. Will definitely be agile. So we'll take the questions once all the speakers speak. So I'll request Gopa Madam to introduce the next speaker, please.
Thank you, Naveen. That was a very comprehensive presentation on a very critical aspect of future-proofing the workforce. Our next speaker is Mr. DV Shastry, Executive Director, Energy Executive Director, Natural Gas Society, and his presentation, he'll be presenting his perspective on sustainable development and energy transition. Mr. DV Shastry.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Please bear with me, I am having sore throat. Still, I will try to manage. I must thank the previous speaker for setting the context, because today we live in a very complex world and all of us are coming across the jargons like VUCA and BANI and so on. And it is a reality. The environment is really volatile, complex, ambiguous, and also it is brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. Because, say, for example, who knew that Corona will just creep in? We have all seen. So Corona nobody anticipated and it just came in. The Ukraine in Russia war, nobody knew it came in, and we have to necessarily exist in the environment. No entity can ever exist in a vacuum. The problems and issues today are not local, but most of the things are global. Say, for example, the issue of climate change and sustainable development, they are critical. Now they are no longer confined to this conference rooms or talks, but we have to work on ground. So, if we do not pay attention, our own survival will be at stake. Further, today we live in an era of three C's. Three C means competition. That means compete with each other in a healthy manner, healthy competition. At the same time, cooperate with each other and collaborate with each other. So, competition, cooperation, and collaboration, these are the three keys for any organization to grow. But in this current times, when everything is accessible to everybody, like lot of information is available on the internet, you can click the Google and have a whole lot of information within seconds. You can buy technology, you can buy equipment. Then what is the differentiator for any organization? Differentiator is number one, the people, as you can see in this slide. Even the best of the strategy or corporate plan or systems or processes will not work if we do not have a highly competent and agile workforce. That's number one. And number two, such a meritorious workforce should have the ability, and organization as a whole should have the ability to learn faster than the competitors. That is the key which differentiates any organization from others. Yet another aspect, I must thank the colleague from EIL who talked in detail about the methodologies for training and the importance of semi-durable, durable and perishable skills, and he talked about various models. But I would like to emphasize on creating a positive organizational culture, which Professor T.V. Rao of IIM Ahmedabad represented with a beautiful acronym OCTAPACE. O stands for openness. That means there should be free exchange of ideas and knowledge. People are encouraged to come out with new ideas, innovation, and creativity. C stands for confrontation. Confrontation does not mean the fighting between various individuals. It is healthy debate. It should not be that if a senior person is saying something, it should be taken for granted and must be followed blindly. So confrontation, then trust. We should mutually trust. Members of the company should have lot of mutual trust. A is authenticity. There, there should be a culture of authenticity in whatever is said. There should be congruence between the words and the deeds. And P is pro-action, because routine job everybody is doing. But if a culture of pro-action is inculcated in the organization, then it acts as differentiator. Then next A is autonomy. People should have autonomy, not that you should always uh, ask the people to have a vision like this. There should be a 360-degree view. Then only your company can grow. And collaboration between the teams and between the organizations. And final E stands for experimenting. So organization should allow for genuine mistakes. If we commit mistake, then only we learn. So organization should have the capacity to allow mistakes to happen and take learning from those mistakes. Similarly, cognitive skills are many times assume more importance than the hard skills. And those skills can enable a balance between the high competitive targets of the organization in alignment with the overall strategy. So, therefore, the need of the hour is to build on the core competencies of the organization, but without losing sight of cross-functional competencies. Because we have seen many live examples. People are having very sound knowledge and very good skills, but if they are not good at cross-functional competencies and behavioral competencies, that's why they could not reach the top of the ladder. So organization must pay due attention to a blend of core competencies and cross-functional competencies, and a word of caution that we must say a big no to patch systems. It is not that if some puncture has occurred somewhere, we just put a patch and move ahead. Then the vehicle will not move far. So we should be careful enough. So we have to have an integrated approach and become a learning organization. Learning is not a modular thing or a one-time activity. It has to be in a continuum, and therefore each each action of each member of the organization must be with that focus. And many of you must have got the opportunity to read a book, The Fifth Discipline, by a famous author, in which he defines the learning organization as an organization where people are continuously expanding their capacities to create the results they truly desire, where innovative thinking is nurtured, and when where people are learning to learn together. That is how learning organization has been defined, and that kind of organization can reach the pinnacle of success. So, as in the today's context, the next generation operating model should consist of blending operational excellence, Industry 4.4 and beyond, and that will be possible by blending digital transformation with new management skills and new analytical skills to make data analytics work. Like this thing was also mentioned by the previous speaker. Second thing, once we talk of innovation, culture of innovation, then gone are the days for incremental things. Innovation has to be exponential so as to stand out amongst the fierce competition. So, bringing significant step changes in the process of organizational work will only fetch us better revenue, better customer experience, and cost. While we should recognize the importance of tools like TQM, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, DMAC, PDCA, plan, do, check, act models of Six Sigma, uh, tools which are proven, we should also develop, and focus should be on root cause analysis and problem solving with an approach of continual improvement. There is no end to improvement. If we are at level A, it is not the end. B, C, there is no limit. Improvement is a continuous process, and therefore it should be the culture of the organization to make sure that all members of the organization are having this kind of mindset. There are two beautiful Japanese words, hensei and kaizen. Hensei means reflection, that is looking back and learning from mistakes, and kaizen is continuous improvement. And these two words are popular because they have worked so well with with the organizations all across the world. So this is the need of the hour in this digital era. This talent crunch is known to all, and because nowadays everybody is talking of digital, but we are facing a lot of crunch in hard skills. When you go to any sector, whether it is refinery, whether it is natural gas transmission, or it is city gas distribution, everybody wants to have a beautiful air conditioned office environment, but there are very few people who have the required skills to perform on site. So organization must take due cognizance of their contribution and develop that kind of workforce, because ultimately anybody is hired for delivering. So as managers, our our duty is to deliver, because our management will ask for results. They will not, and any organization does not accept excuses. What is the end result? If somebody says, I have worked 24 hours, okay, fine. What is the end result? So it is the deliverable which matters most, and therefore, for futuristic workforce, we have to have an integrated approach, which is a organizational areas, that is leadership, people, policy and strategy, partnerships and resources of processing. And I am talking in the context of inter-organization. The previous presentation was more about intra-organization, but there should be a culture of uh, collaboration between the organizations. So in this context, the Natural Gas Society, which presently I am heading, this logo is missing. Where is the coordinator? In my presentation, there was a logo of my organization. Doesn't matter. So today's need of the hour is create a knowledge repository, and it should not be limited to particular organization, and sharing the knowledge and best practices. So in this context, the Natural Gas Society has put in its efforts. Under the initiative, we called it GPS, Jnananubhav Pravasa Yatra. Its simple meaning is journey together for exchange of knowledge and experience. And since GPS is easy to understand, so we said, because somebody may not be very comfortable with Jnananubhav Pravasa Yatra. Jnana is knowledge, Pravaha is sharing or flow, Sahayatra means journey together. So that initiative we have taken, in which we invite the members from across the industry and also academia. So that is yet another effort by Natural Gas Society, because the students who are coming out from the educational institutions must be industry ready, and therefore curriculum should be in an alignment with the requirements of the industry. So we started this journey from Mahanagar Gas Limited, Mumbai, and the response to our initiative was very encouraging. We had almost 30 participants from 10 companies, including the academia like RGIPT, Pandit Deen Dayal, Energy University, and so on, so that the best practices. So we focused upon safety practices, because Mahanagar Gas Limited is known for its best practices in safety. So they focused and they brought out the best practices in safety, and people were shown the things on site. In the conference room, one can give good presentation, but people are grasping more when they see the things for themselves. So that initiative was very well received, and the next milestone in this journey of GPS, that will be held at Think Gas in Bhopal, where They will be showcasing their practices of LNG storage, LNG dispensing, and various solutions they have come out with, so that their expertise is shared with all members of the industry and everybody is benefited. There is no need to reinvent the wheel, because if entity A has come across some problem and entity B comes across the same problem at some other time, then there is no need to reinvent the wheel. So that's how exchange of knowledge and experience is very important, and it is in the interest of all. It is a win-win proposition. And Natural Gas Society also uh, publishes a journal on quarterly basis, and we are circulating it all across the industry. We organize conferences, seminar in which there is huge participation from organizations like Indian Oil, GAIL, Mahanagar Gas Limited, Indraprasth Gas Limited, EIL, and even the good vendors are there like ABB, Secure Meters, because smart metering is very important in CGD and elsewhere. So these are the efforts which our organization is taking, and we are also participating at international level, like Future Energy Asia 23 we participated. I was a speaker. In 24 also similar thing is going to happen. We are also participating in Gas Tech and so on. So the, uh, the, the crux of the matter is that learning should be ingrained into the DNA of the organization, and that's how we should become learning organization. We should collaborate, we should share knowledge and experience. Gone are the days जैसे ऑफिस में पहले लोग ड्रॉवर में अपना डॉक्यूमेंट रखते थे और उस डॉक्यूमेंट को खुद भी नहीं पढ़ते थे. So sharing is empowering. Let us share within the organization and also beyond, and learn from each other, and that is the way to excel in this complex environment. So are we ready to undertake a journey towards becoming a learning organization?
Yes.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Shastri. We will take the questions later, Mr. Shastri, once all the sessions are over. So, thank you very much for the 3 Cs and the GPS as well as we move forward. So, I would like to invite Mr. Rohan Kumar, who is presently working as Executive Engineer Production in ONGC. Mr. Kumar will be presenting on empowering the energy workforce of tomorrow, strategies for success in the changing world. He would be touching on crucial aspects in transforming energy sector, such as world energy employment challenges faced in building an energy proficient workforce, developing and cultivating the next generation energy professionals. Thank you.
My session chair, co-chair, delegates of the dais, ladies and gentlemen, very good evening. I am Rohan Kumar, presently working as Executive Engineer Production in CBM Asset Project of ONGC Bokaro. So as introduced by the chair, the topic of my presentation today is empowering the energy workforce of tomorrow, strategies for success in a changing world. The energy sector, the bedrock of modern civilization, stand at a crossroad of unprecedented transformation. In the era marked by technological advancement, sustainability imperative, and global challenges, the empowerment of energy workforce takes the center stage. The urgency of these deliberations reverberates across nations, transcends across economic boundaries, as well as resonates with every individual who is concerned about the future we leave for generations to come. So in this background, let us start this presentation. This is my presentation's agenda. So we'll commence this presentation with rising global emissions and the path to net zero. Transformation in the energy sector will form the next juncture. Then we'll pivot to the world energy employment scenario, followed by challenges in building an energy proficient workforce. And then we'll discuss the strategy for preparing energy workforce for tomorrow. And lastly, we'll end up with the conclusions and recommendations. So before we dive into our presentation, this is my short introduction. I'm a petroleum engineering graduate from IIT Ahmedabad from class of 2015. I've been involved with CBM project of ONGC since last 8 years and have been involved in the hydrofracturing design and execution. Beyond this presentation, if you feel to connect with me, this is my contact number and email ID. So we all are aware about the rising global emissions and its impact on our environment. Presently, the average annual CO2 emission is around 37 billion metric ton, and India is the third largest CO2 emitter after USA and China. So IPCC, which is an intergovernmental panel committee, they published a special report, 1.5 degree centigrade report in 2018, which says that humankind has to take all possible efforts to limit the temperature rise up to 1.5 degrees centigrade in comparison to the temperature of pre-industrial level. So if we allow this temperature to rise beyond 1.5 degrees centigrade, there will be devastating effect on our ecosystem. So IPCC in its sixth assessment report in 2021, they introduced the concept of SSP, shared socio-economic pathways. What are these? These are basically diverse strategies based on various socio-economic understandings and policy pathways. So based on different policy taken by the policy makers, there can be different projection with where will we stand by the end of this century. If we take very stringent action to limit the carbon emission by the end of this century, we can limit the temperature rise below 1.5 degrees centigrade. However, if our actions are not as per par, this temperature rise can go beyond our control and there will be very severe impact on our climate. So the need of the hour is to reduce our carbon footprint and adopt technologies such as CCUS and promoting the use of EVs, etc., and renewables. So to reduce this carbon emission, countries have been taking call to net zero. As on date, around 145 countries, they have pledged to carbon neutrality. Out of these 27 countries, they have made some laws related to net zero. At the same time, around 52 nations, they have net zero in their policy document, as if India. Uh, Among the significant carbon emitters, Finland leads the way as it is targeting carbon neutrality by 2035. Most of the nations have their target around 2050. India is leading the extended timeline of 2070. On the converse side, there are few small countries which have already achieved their carbon neutrality. As in Bhutan, they have achieved their carbon neutrality, they have achieved their net zero, mostly because of the nature of their less developing state, as well as they have extended forest cover. So this energy sector is undergoing rapid transformation to achieve the net zero. This can be understood by the three broad terms: this technological advancement, sustainability imperatives, and the global energy challenges. First, there has been an abnormal rise of use of renewable energy. IEA estimates that by 2027, solar capacity will exceed even the other forms of electricity by even the other forms of electricity. India also expect to expand the share of non-fossil fuel capacity up to 500 gigawatt. Also, the share of non-fossil fuel based electricity in the total energy requirement of around 50% by 2030, as per the Panchamrit announced by our Honorable Prime Minister. There have been continuous development in the oil and gas exploration and development technologies, which is offering higher efficiency. Then the integration of digitalization and AI, this has revolutionized our system. This is providing automated solutions, smart technologies, etc. Then talking about the sustainability imperatives, obviously we have environmental concerns. That is why we are promoting the use of renewables. Policies which are emphasizing the sustainability, they have gained prominence. Then ESG has become a new benchmark for corporate performances. Around 29 countries, they have made some laws regarding the disclosure of ESG data. In India also, SEBI has mandated that around that 1,000 top listed companies, they have to disclose their ESG initiatives. At the same time, there are many global energy challenges. Energy accessibility remains the pressing issue. Around too many million people, they still lack access to energy. Then due to geopolitical issues, there are security issues with respect to the energy supply, and also with depleting our energy resources and the geopolitical issue, there is a need to shift our energy mix from conventional to renewable. So, considering this transformation in the energy sector, this will also impact the workforce which is deployed in the energy sector. So, this can be explained very well with these three bold figures. So, as per World Energy Employment data by IEA, there will be 14 million new jobs which will be related to the clean energy by the end of this decade, as well as since we are shifting from fossil fuel based industry to the renewable based industry, 5 million jobs will be shifted away from fossil fuel. At the same time, around 16 million workers will require training and additional skills and training related to the clean energy. So if we look at the World Energy Employment data, at present around 67 million people are employed in the clean energy in the overall energy sector, which is around 3% of the total formal employment. At present, more people are employed in the clean energy segment in comparison to the fossil fuel related segment. This disparity between the workforce deployment as well as the contribution of the clean energy shows that more labor intensive jobs are needed in the clean energy sector as new infrastructure has been built up. In the recent time, there has been a growth of around 5% in the energy workforce requirement from the pre-pandemic levels. If you look at the breakup of clean energy and the fossil fuel related workforce deployment, there have been a staggering growth of around 15% in the clean energy segment. However, in the fossil fuel related workforce deployment, there have been a decline of around 4%. As far as the women empowerment, women workforce deployment is concerned, as in the other industry, women are underrepresented in the energy industry as well. However, their underrepresentation is of more significant level in energy industry. Here, women constitute around 20% of the total workforce scenario. As far as the senior position level is concerned, women constitute around 18% of the senior management positions, as in line with the average economy worldwide. So, if you look at the challenges which are there in building an energy proficient workforce, first is rapid technological evolution. More and more updated technologies are coming, which is introducing skill gaps as well as adaptation challenges as the workforce is adopting those challenges. Then there are sustainability and renewable energy. This is requiring experienced manpower, which is leading to the transition challenges. Then policy and regulatory dynamics. Day by day, more policy frameworks are coming, and people need to be aware of the compliances and their regular changes. So this leads to uncertainty, and this is affecting the long-term planning and the investment. And at the last, diversity and inclusion. There has been underrepresentation of many sectors as well as the demographic area-wise. So retention also remains a big challenge for the corporates. So if we look at this figure, this explains us that the corporates are already reporting the shortfall of the energy requirement as well as the skill requirement in the clean energy sector. If you look at the right side graph, this shows that more and more high skilled labor is required in the energy sector as compared to the normal other sectors. So more tertiary training and more vocational training are needed for energy workforce in the future days to come. So, to cultivate the next generation of energy professionals, our strategies can be concentrated on these four factors. First, the educational reform for relevant training so that our people, our workforce will have industry related competencies. There should be industry partnership and support for guidance, as well as the workforce should be provided vocational education and training as far as the company needs are concerned. Then STEM education, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, that should be provided from an early age, which builds the foundation for critical skills, which is very essential for energy sector. This also encourages curiosity and exploration, which drives innovation, and it also inculcates the environmental responsibility into the energy workforce. Then their apprenticeship and internship should be our focus strategy, which enhances the practical learning, and this exposes our workforce into the live demonstrations and the practical learnings into them. Then there needs to be an industry and academia collaboration so that these programs remain relevant in the future times to come. And obviously, the focus should be on diversity and inclusion initiatives so that more and more demographic representation can be ensured in our workforce. As artificial intelligence is making is penetrating in every aspect of our life, so there are many aspects in which artificial intelligence can impact our energy sector. Smart grids, there are smart grids which can regulate the energy requirement as well as energy patterns. Then demand response management, based on the demand, smart grids can allocate energy. They can also help in energy trading because they can analyze large set of data. Predictive maintenance, companies can predict when their equipment is about to fail and when they require maintenance. Renewable energy forecast can be done based on the weather forecast and analyzing large data sets. This also helps in smart building and using the smart meters. Then energy storage can be done using various data such as demand, supply, rate, etc. It also helps in CCUS and oil and gas exploration technology. So our energy workforce, they need to be aware about the emerging technologies such as AI and their impact in our energy sector, such as these things. So there have been few case studies like such as Green Canada. This basically related to recruitment of energy advisors, which provides suggestions for adopting green practices, as well as there is a skill council for green jobs. This was established in 2015. This is basically was established to identify the skill needs in the energy sector. This also maps the green job. So these are the two case studies which can be adopted by the corporates to develop energy workforce requirement. Since coal is the most GHG intensive sector, so this will be first impacted by the energy transformation. So IE estimates that around 90 gigawatt of annual average coal power capacity retirement will be required for net zero requirement. So there will be many jobs will be lost, which will be lost in the coal sector. So corporates need to adopt, and rather the policymakers need to adopt firm strategy so that those people can be deployed or relocated in the other sector. So these two strategies, such as paying just transition strategies in which they are deploying their workforce into new commissioning plants, into the new plants, this can be used. Similarly, South Africa sector jobs or resilience plan, this can also be looked into, which is using their coal workers into the renewable energy sector as well as the coal waste product sector. So on the similar line, oil and gas sector as well as the power and vehicle sector, their labor can also be relocated into the corresponding sector, such as petroleum engineers can be relocated to geothermal activities. Offshore petroleum sector workforce can be utilized in the offshore wind, CCUS or hydrogen. Power plant operators based on conventional resources, they can be used in the clean energy power plants, as well as the ICE vehicle manufacturing labor workforce can be used in the EVs manufacturing workforce as mini manufacturing workforce. So this is my conclusion. We need to have continuous skill assessment. Early STEM engagement should be focused. There should be investment in apprenticeship. Our focus should be on diversity and inclusion initiatives. There should be continuous learning and upskilling, and obviously the industry-ready certification programs need to be adopted by the corporates. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rohan, and on time. Thank you very much.